Alright, clapping makes us feel happy, but today, we didn't come here to feel happy. I know what you're thinking. What do you mean, I came here to feel happy? But you only really came here for two reasons. You either came here to fight, or you came here to surrender. The question is, if you had the chance, if you could look it right dead in the eye, face to face, feel the hot breath of the demon itself, would you stand there and fight? Or would you surrender? All our lives we're told these quotes. Fight for your right! We're told, the more you sweat in class, the less you bleed in battle. We're told all these quotes. They hype us up and tell us to fight for the things we believe in. That's what being brave is about. That's what being courageous is about. And when it comes down to it, in every single movie, in every single book, in every single anecdote, in every single story, the person that fights is the person that wins. But it's not always like that. You see, Alfred Adler, famous psychologist, said it best. And he said, it's easier to fight for one's principles than it is to live by them. See, my biggest fear was to live up to everybody's expectations of what they saw in me. I had all these qualities, and all my life, people would tell me all these beautiful things. They tell me I was a leader. They tell me I was going to be successful. They told me I had this fight in me. But I never saw it myself. Until just about 1 month ago, I was standing in this icy cold room. I was sitting down right next to my best friend. I had known her all my life since I was 3 years old, Karina. Dark hair, about this tall, really pale face, but a smile that could just turn on any day. And I was scared and I was nervous and my knees were buckling and I sounded like I was banging some maracas or something. And I was sweating and my heart was ba-boom, ba-boom, ba-boom. At any moment I was gonna run out of that room. But I couldn't, because I was applying for graduation. And it was coming to me all at once. All these text messages, beep, 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 beep. Oh, you got it. You're so successful. I can't believe your GPA is that high. Oh. And then I get these other people. They're sending me letters. Hey, we'd like to invite you to come check out our school. We're located here in the square in London. And my parents, I'm just so proud of you. You're just such a success. But I didn't feel it, because I still had this fear of all their expectations. And right there, when I stood there, Karina just looks at me and says, wow, you look horrible. What's wrong? And I tell her, I know I earned it, but did I deserve it? Let's go back a little bit. When I was in elementary school, I was the firecracker I am now. I was always up. I was always talking. But there was one other thing. I was always arguing. You see, I had a best friend named John. And John stuck to me like white on rice. Anything that you can name, he was right there behind me. He was my tail, he was my chewing gum, he was the person that was there everywhere I went. But John always got into trouble. Always got into trouble. And I'm telling you, always was up to no good. You see, this one time, he just went up and the teacher had a big bag of candy. And during recess, we could eat the candy. John thought it was a great idea to just eat the candy. And they were all banana flavored candy, mind you. Remember that, banana flavored candy. So he got caught stealing the candy, right? But here comes Eddy. And I stood up, wait! The only reason he was stealing the candy, and I'll tell you why he was stealing the candy. And I know it seems outrageous, but the thing is that John has diabetes. And he's really tired. And he needed potassium. So he stole this candy, not because he was greedy, not because he didn't care about the well-being of the classroom, but because he wanted to live. That day my teacher called me and scheduled a parent-teacher conference. And she told my mom that I was going to be a lawyer. So this got into my head. I'm going to be a lawyer. I'm going to be a lawyer. I'm going to be a lawyer. Watch this. I'm going to be a lawyer. So since that day on, I was ready for college. I was only 5, but I was ready for college. I told myself, I'm going to do everything that I need to get straight A's. Because only people that get straight A's become lawyers. So I did it. I started talking to everybody so I can get good grades in the classroom. I'm going to get honor roll. You watch. Well, I'll tell you, there's no sad ending. I did get straight A's. It's... Pause. It's 8 to 10.
We're going to have to edit just time for the meeting.
Should have told me that before, man.
Go ahead.
Alright, I'll skip through.
Go to 10.
The only problem was that after getting all those straight A's, I had talked to everybody in that class to get help. I got an F in conduct. I wasn't eligible for honor roll. And I almost got kicked out of elementary school. And we're going to fast forward to my teenage years in high school. In high school, I worked it. I worked the room. I wanted to talk to every single person in that room. And I had dates, left and right. Got me a horrible reputation. But it did get me one good thing. Eddie, my man, you're a lover boy. I know I'm your PE coach. And what the hell does Coach Barnes know about love? But let me tell you, I see it in you. You're a regular Romeo. You're destined to go run away with some girl and live happily ever after. Alright, I can do Romeo. I had the smoothness. I have a boombox. I can stand outside Paris Bueller's Garden to serenade a woman. So I got a girlfriend. And I fell in love. And it was going good. I mean, we did it all together. We took those pictures at the mall. You're like... And we fell in love. And then I started separating, and I was running away with my woman. Forget Capulet, I was Romeo, Lopez. So I run away with this girl, and I start separating my friends. Boom! And I start separating my family. Boom! And all of you know, it's just me and this girl. But I'm just trying to be what everybody else told me I was going to be like. I was going to be Romeo. I ended up breaking up with this girl. Wasn't the love of my life. Wasn't the second love of my life either. But I also lost all my friends, and I was alone. I had attitude. And I started thinking in my head, they saw something in me. I tried to be that, and then I lost what I had to begin with. Going back to elementary, they saw something in me. I tried to be that, and I lost what I had to begin with. I was so confused. I felt like going into a corner, just rocking back and forth. Everything that I knew in life, everything everybody told me, every time that I tried to fulfill that fantasy, every time that I tried to fight my fear, my expectation, I would lose. I'd feel pain. I'd get burned. I didn't understand it. And I didn't know quite how to word it. Luckily, Ferenc is going to help me out on this one. Ferenc said, make finding your happiness your priority. I'm going to repeat that one more time. Make finding your happiness your priority. Now, perception is reality, and I'm going to tell you this one time. To me, that meant when you find your happiness, what makes you happy, you find what drives you. And when you find what drives you, you get to find yourself. Now you can fight your problems, you can fight your expectations, you can fight your vulnerabilities and your weaknesses, but you will never win. But the day that you give up and you surrender to that role, those beautiful characteristics, traits that people see inside you already. Are you a leader? Are you a life coach? What are you? Are you made to engineer? Or are you just trying to make people happy through speaking the word of Christ? Whatever it is, don't fight that expectation. Don't try to be it. Just live it. I'm going to end you with a quote. Stop fighting your creative spirit that is struggling to break free inside you. Because only when you embrace your creative spirit have you learned to become yourself.